So welcome to my YouTube channel. That's what we call a good life. Today I'm going to be telling you about all the jobs that you can be doing in the month of November. And even though things are really slowing down at the moment, there's still plenty of jobs you can be getting on with. There's nothing short of time. We're just losing daylight hours and it's getting a little bit colder and a little bit wetter. So if you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment, and from time to time my home kitchen. So we'll start off up here with the raspberries. So you can be starting to prune your soft fruits between now and March. We've pretty much finished ours, but we still do have a little bit more pruning to do. You know, when you think you've done it all and then you realise you haven't. One of the big questions that I get asked an awful lot is what is the difference between autumn fruiting and summer fruiting? Well, apart from obviously one fruit's in the summer and one fruit's in the autumn. How do you tell the difference between the two? The difference with summer fruiting and what you're looking for are new shoots coming up. So on these you can see some new shoots coming up with new buds. So you've got like these canes coming up. So these are summer fruiting and you leave these lovely new canes, but what you remove are the old canes, so the really twiggy ones that have already formed their fruit. They're not going to form any more fruit again. You take all these out. As you can see, I've got quite a few here, so all these dead wood looking ones need to come out, and all these lovely shoots here all need to stay. So it's quite easy to tell the difference if you have got summer and autumn once you get used to doing it. So my autumn ones are very different indeed. So you haven't got all that dead wood, and what you do with these is when they've stopped fruiting, you just completely cut them right off down to the ground. So you haven't got the old fruit coming up. They look distinctively different. They're typically like these, a lot smaller than those. Typically the summer fruiting ones have much longer canes. So yeah, these ones you just cut right down to the floor. So you can also be pruning your other soft fruits. I've got black currants there, I've got gooseberries over there, so you can start pruning those. I haven't done mine yet, but I will be doing them over the next few months at some point. I've finished digging all my potatoes. If you've not dug your potatoes, you really do need to get them out of the ground, otherwise the wireworm and the slugs will get them, and they won't keep very well if the frost gets to them either. So really get those out if you've not got them out already. I've actually been harvesting quite a lot. You'd think coming up to this time of the year, you know, it's the beginning of November, but only a week ago I brought back such a lot of crops. If I just show you what I've got over here, I should have worn my wellies up here. I dug up a load of my beetroot. You can leave a little bit in the ground. I often dig a little bit to have throughout the winter. It can ruin, but it normally keeps quite well in the ground, some of it. But I dug an awful lot of that up. I've made myself a massive beetroot curry. I'm going to do some hummus, and I plan on doing a beetroot cake as well. So I've still got carrots that I'm picking, or pulling I should say. I've got some parsnips there, but I've not done those yet. And I harvested all my fennel. Things like fennel, you really must harvest those, because if the frost gets them, they're going to be ruined. So I made a great big gratin dish, and then I pulled the rest a few days ago, and I've taken them home, and I'm probably going to put them in risottos. I might even do another gratin dish because it was so incredibly tasty. So I could start harvesting my leeks now, and I might start harvesting some of the bigger ones. So that would be my tip. Obviously, the smaller ones will start to fill out more, so I might start harvesting some of the bigger leeks over the next few weeks. If you've not already got your pumpkins and your squashes up, and any courgettes that you've got in there, I would really start to get them up over this month, because we will start to get a frost, and if the frost gets on them, they're not going to keep as well. So we came up here in the car, loaded them all back in the car, and they're all at home in my conservatory, storing really well. One of the things I will say is when you store your squashes and things, I was only talking to someone the other day, and they're like, oh, should I just put them in a box and put them somewhere? And in my experience, it's better if you can lay them out somewhere. So I've got a conservatory. At the moment, I've washed them and they're all laying across the towel, and I will put them across my windowsill. Even though I've got about 35, I will scatter them around my windowsill in my conservatory. If you're going to choose somewhere, obviously it needs to be frost free. I think ideally where they're laid out so you can see them, so if one goes bad, that's the next one for the pot, so it doesn't, you know, if you put them all in a box and forget about them in the back of the cupboard, they're probably all just going to rot, really. So my advice is try and put them somewhere, you know, light and dry where you can, and frost free, where you can keep an eye on them. I will probably show you how I keep mine at some point in another video. So my beans have just about had it. If you can have a look down here, I really don't think I'm going to be getting any more off these. So I need to be tidying all these canes up. I mean, I've got a few beans coming, but I don't think they're going to come too much now. I say that, well, every time I come up there is not much, but they're not growing properly. Look, even despite all the rain, they're all just shrivelling up. They're not really filling out now. So I'll be taking all these canes down. As you can see, this area here is quite weedy where the squashes were, so I'm going to have to be tidying this up. So that's another job we can be doing. There's plenty of weeding to be done this time of year. I try and do as much as I can now, because I know when it gets really cold I won't want to, and I will cover it with ground cover, which you can buy in our Allotment Shop, which will be in the description, because it will just make life a heck of a lot easier in the spring if you've already cleared the weeds and then laid some weed suppressant down. It just makes it a lot easier, and I know it's really tough and none of us want to be up here weeding when it's wet and cold and horrible, but if you can put a little bit of effort in, it will really be worth it. But if you don't get time, then just get the ground cover down, because at least it stops it from really rooting in and get really bad. So I also get a lot of people ask us like how we kind of like live this kind of lifestyle. You know, what made us do it. I think both of us were working really hard jobs, and I wouldn't say we were disillusioned with society, but we wanted something different. We wanted more time for us as a family, and just more time to do the things we wanted to do. So we were introduced to a business about 12 years ago, which we work flexibly around our allotment and all our home baking and things like that. And so we're able to do things like these. We have time to do these YouTube videos. We have time to do other things that lots of other people don't get to do. There is a link which we can put up there, and we will put in the description for you to contact us. You can literally click on contact us, and either myself or my husband will get in contact with you. And if you want to start earning extra money like we did to change your lifestyle so it's less stress-free and you can cook and, you know, grow your own vegetables in a more relaxed way without having to do the 9 to 5, we'd be more than happy to have a chat with you about it at any time. And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, statistically most people don't subscribe to my channel. They just kind of like watch it ad hoc. If you do subscribe, it does us a massive huge favour, so we can show this to more and more people. So if you could subscribe, that would be really awesome, and if you can please let us know in the comments that you've done that, that'd be really fantastic. Now let's head back up and look at some of the other things that I'm doing. So unfortunately my kale got completely obliterated by the whitefly. So we've cut that down, and we're going to have to tidy that a little bit up. Fortunately, I've picked up some more kale at a garden centre for 50p, but it's in my greenhouse at home at the moment. But if you have got any kale that's really tall and leggy, or any Brussels, or anything else that needs to be supported, and now's a really good time to do it, because obviously some of the winds that we're getting at the moment, it's really going to knock it down. So do think about staking things and still keeping things covered from the birds as well. I've not seen any white cabbage butterfly, so I'd like to feel that we've escaped that. But still do keep things covered because of the birds. I have still, believe it or not, got some broccoli under there. I'm not going to pull it out. I did pick some the other day, and even though it looks really shabby, in fact no, I will show you, even though it looks really shabby, somehow this ridiculously shabby broccoli is still producing broccoli, and I literally can't believe it. I mean, it produces an amount, in fact bigger than an amount you would buy in a shop. So, and I've actually got, if I can find it, a really big head growing there, look, which I actually can't quite believe. So there's not much to show you today, because I did literally come up here a couple of days ago and picked quite a lot of. So putting Calabrese broccoli in is, I think, flipping amazing. Even though most of it bolted during the hot weather, I've had quite big side shoots coming off of it, well, until now, and it's November, which is pretty amazing. I've got quite a lot of tidying up in there to do as well, and that's where my my sweet corn was, so there's still plenty to be doing. And of course, some things you could be sowing. Now, I've already sown quite a few things actually, even though it's quite late in the year. Everyone thinks there's nothing you can sow at the moment. There's actually quite a lot. I've got these in, my garlic, which is already sprouted, and I've got some onions in there. I've got some broad beans at home. I've got some peas at home in the greenhouse. There is a full video on all the things that you can be planting now if you want to. So I won't go into it in detail because there's a whole video you can watch on that, which we're going to put up on the screen there, and you can watch that in your own time. Now I do hope you've enjoyed wandering around my allotment today and hearing about all the exciting things you can be doing. If you've got any questions or queries, as ever, please do put them in the comments. And if you want to click on our link and have a chat with us about earning an extra income, please, it would be our pleasure to hear from you.